Next up at UFC 308, we have Mateusz Rebecki taking on Myktybek. That is how you pronounce that, Myktybek Orolbai. Mateusz Rebecki, 19-2 in his career. 4-1 in his last 5. He's coming off his first UFC loss, taking on Myktybek Orolbai. 13-1 in his career, 5-0 in his last 5 on a nice 8-fight win streak. This is absolutely, without question, a battle of the grapplers. Both these dudes looking to do the same thing, and they have very similar styles. Orolbai, fun grappler. He's going to entertain the striking for a little bit, then fully commit to the wrestling. His wrestling, his grappling pressure, it's all nonstop. Plenty of cardio, plenty of power, and a good chin. Look at that thing. This guy walked out of a cave an hour and a half ago. Anytime you get somebody whose forehead sticks out farther than their eyebrows, you know that dude's had a good chin on him. The striking has been steadily improving. He even had a knockdown in his last fight. He's coming off that win over Elvis Brenner, where the wrestling was spectacular, but did get swept kind of easily a few times. Taking on Mateusz Rebecki. He's also a relentless grappler. He's going to march forward. He'll bomb giant 1-2s, and then he'll just start diving at legs. Even though he's a grappler, he'll hang around for a striking match as well. Every single punch he throws, whether it's a jab or an overhand, is with intent, and if he gets you to the ground, he is looking for a finish. He can be reckless, which leaves him open both to be taken down, and if he's on top looking for control, he creates too much space, and people slide out. Good cardio, considering his pace, but he is sloppy, and his cardio did fail him in his last fight. He looked okay early, completely gassed, and then was finished. Rebecki's good. Rebecki is somebody that we've bet on. I think he's been in a safety parlay or two in the past, and we've all been good. He's also someone that I think can sneak out an upset here over Myktybek. Myktybek's good offensively, but defensively it's different. And a lot of times you get two very good high-level wrestlers. It's not even about who's the better wrestler is. It's usually about who shoots first. Because whoever shoots first is going to get to the leg, and if you get a takedown, you get a takedown. It's much harder to defend a takedown than it is to finish a takedown. I do think Myktybek Orolbai will be more inclined to shoot first. I think he's going to come forward. I think he's going to wrestle hard. He's going to wrestle early, where Rebecki might be biting down and banging away. Rebecki's cardio failed him in his last fight. That was kind of uncharacteristic of him, but it did happen. And in this fight, if it's more the same, Myktybek Orolbai's cardio is going to go for days. Myktybek is going to be the pick. I'm deciding how confident I am or am not with that, but he is going to be the pick. What do you think, Jakey boy?
I think Orolbai looks like Ryan Gosling.
Sure. From 100 BC.
I think they could be brothers. I think they're
from
both,
the cave cartoon, when the cave movies they drew on the walls. He's that Ryan Gosling.
Encino Man?
Yeah.
He's Encino Man if Ryan Gosling played it instead of Brendan Fraser.
Yeah.
If Ryan Gosling was the Encino Man, caveman, it'd be
Myktybek Orolbai.
Oh shit.
Who do you think wins this fight, Mr. I got completely off track and forgot what I was doing?
Yeah, I like Orolbai, and I'm actually pretty confident in this fight. I understand that Rebecki is going to be live early, and people like what he brings early in the fight with the crazy pressure, with the power, maybe be able to get a takedown or whatever. I don't think he's going to finish a guy like Orolbai. I think we both agree that Orolbai is a tough son of a bitch, especially early in the fight. You know, maybe if he starts getting sloppy in the third round versus a different opponent, that would be an opportunity, right? Because you saw in the Brenner fight, everything was like, uh-oh, like is this fight starting to turn a little bit? But Rebecki showed in his last fight that once you get him on the ground and you start making him actually scramble and work hard in the grappling, he will start to fade. I mean, he was lucky to even survive the second round of that last fight. He was done, mounted, getting elbowed. And if you look at this guy Orolbai, he is a tough dude. He can level change underneath pressure. He can wrestle hard. He can scramble hard. He's a team alpha male guy, and you just saw how good those people are scrambling. That's why I tried to tell you guys with the lock of the week, Darren Elkins. I said, yeah, he might get in situations, but he will fucking out-scramble anybody. And Orolbai is in the same camp. You got to imagine him and Elkins just going back and forth. You saw how hard Elkins makes people work and can scramble out of situations. Orolbai's the same way. He's not going to stay there. He's not going to be on his back any type of way like that. He's got good striking, really good ground and pound. And once he advanced positions in the second, third round against Rebecki, even if Rebecki is having success and wins the first round, I still think he fades hard enough to where he's getting finished in the second or the third versus a guy like Orolbai. He's just too tough, too relentless, and I don't see Rebecki getting him out of the first. If he doesn't get him out of the first, he loses this fight. So I'm going Orolbai. I mean, Rebecki got the fucking cunt beat out of him.
He got beat pretty bad. He did get beat pretty bad in his last fight. And anybody who saw the Instagram story, that's not me. There was a picture of Rebecki in the hospital from his last fight. Somebody put my face on it. Yeah, that's my face on Rebecki's head and body in the hospital.
I mean, you can say whatever you want, but that's the shirt I got you for your birthday a few years ago.
It's black.
This was after one of your treatments. You were throwing up a little bit. We gave you a cherry popsicle because your throat was hurting, right? And you kind of threw it up. Sure. The wisdom teeth, dribbled down the face type of stuff. So, keep praying for Angelo. This was a rough weekend for him, but I think you're going to be all right.
So you made it your story. I just added it to the We Want Pick story, and I got multiple messages like, dude, are you okay? What happened? And I did not sense sarcasm. I think people genuinely were like, oh, my goodness. T's and P's, baby. T's and P's.
That's the actual picture, but...
Yeah, there you go. Jesus Christ, dude, he got mangled in that fight. Holy shit.
Now imagine Orolbai on top of you. That was a Brazilian.
Not Elvis Brenner, yeah.
Well, it wasn't Elvis Brenner. It was
Diego, it was Diego Ferreira. Yeah. We're both on the Myktybek Orolbai side. He's a guy, $9,100. We talked about not Javid, Farid. We talked about Farid Basrat, his $9,400 price point or whatever the hell he was. Myktybek Orolbai at $9,100, a guy that's going to be all in on the wrestling, who could find a finish. That's the route you got to go.
You saw he struggled to try to get that ground and pound off a little bit against a guy like Els Brenner, but Els Brenner is one of those really good off your back, switching his hips. He had to be really careful not to fall into big ground. You see it a lot with the big ground and pound falling into a triangle, that arm bar, that type of situation. So he couldn't really get the ground and pound off. You saw Rebecki flat on his back. I mean, he's not throwing up triangles and arm bars. He's gonna be able to stay. He's gonna be able to stay square on his hips and really lay the lumber down with the elbows, I think so. That's why his eyes look like that. Because
$9,100. Myktybek Orolbai will be in my DraftKings fantasy lineup, and there will be some action on him. If you want to check out all the picks, the bets, the round line leans, artificial intelligence, and everything for an entire month, it's only $10. WeWantPicks.com. Click Become a Member. At the top, you're going to unlock UFC 308, UFC Edmonton, UFC Vegas 100, then cap it off with UFC 309. Couple of super chatterooskies. Tron B. Love you guys. Thanks for helping me get my daughter's Halloween costume. No problem, bud.
Oh, I think that's because you were inspired. I think she dressed up as Shrek. I want to go like They was like, I want to be Angelo. It's like, well, we can buy a Shrek
costume and just, yeah. All right. Throw some black and a hat on it.
Add a fucking tribal on it.
Michael Brennan, $4.99. Going with Rebecki based off the lack of distance between Orolbai's eyes. It's unfortunate. And making fun of people for how they look's not cool because they can't help it. But sometimes it just is what the fuck it is, man. And I think he's
How many fights do you think Cyclops has ever lost? Because I don't remember him ever losing one.
Who's Cyclops? Oh, the comic book character?